off, David. All right, so let me welcome everybody. Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here to kick off our first celebration of Black History Month in AICI. I am Olen Juarez Lim, your VP for Business Development and a part of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Now, February is Black History Month. This month-long observance in the US and Canada is a chance to celebrate and an opportunity to understand Black histories, going beyond stories of racism and slavery to spotlight Black achievement. Black History Month's first iteration was Negro History Week, created in February 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, known as the father of Black history. He helped establish the field of African American Studies, and his organization, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, which is the ASAALH, aimed to encourage people of all ethnic and social backgrounds to discuss Black experience. February was chosen as it coincides with the birthday of two men who played a significant role in helping end slavery: former US President Abraham Lincoln and social reformer Frederick Douglass. In 1976, President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month, and since then, in 1986, the US Congress passed into law, making it a formal month-long celebration. So, many thanks to all those who worked hard to make today's celebration happen. Okay, so I'm just going to see like a clap emoji there. So for special thanks, of course, to our chair for DEI, David McKnight, and his committee, our marketing team under VP Fernanda Lucchesi, special mention, of course, to Shuba Joshi, and of course, our AICI Global Board, who has been supporting us all the way for this event. Chapter presidents, we cannot do anything without you, and of course, all your board members. Special thanks also to Rachel Wozniak, our IMD Managing Director, our esteemed panelists from the IG Live, who actually kicked off the event, okay, about a couple of days ago, and they were very successful. And of course, our esteemed panelists that are almost in red, okay, I did not get the memo to this. And of course, thank you to all of you, our members, for being here. All right, and now, please welcome our President, Lilian Bustamante.
Many thanks, Olin. It's a pleasure for me to be with you today and in this celebration. So welcome, and let me see. Something is happening with my computer, but now I got it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. What happens to here? Sorry for this problem.
It's a live show. It happens, Lilian. So that's okay.
Yeah,
we're very forgiving here. It's a live show.
Yes, something happened with my script.
Lillian, I'll ping you the link again, and maybe you can.
No, I have it. But something is happening that, yeah, here I have it.
Got it?
But okay. Many thanks, Aline. I got it. Okay, dear AACI members, welcome and thank you very much for participating in this event, which is the first time that we do it in AACI, and is very much aligned with our mission in AACI. We are diverse, we are inclusive, and we empower our members and clients. Many thanks to David McKnight for the organization and to Aline Juarez-Lim for her support in this event. Thank you to our members who have started this celebration in Instagram, and today for being in this splendid panel that the D&I committee, together with AACI, has organized for you. It is very important to know all the points of view of our colleagues, which enhances us as people. Congratulations and thank you for your commitment to AACI. Now Aline will follow with the event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lillian. Thank you very much. Lillian, as you know, has been very supportive. When we brought this event, she actually said immediately, yes, let's do it. So going back now, the theme for Black History Month 2022 focuses on the importance of Black health and wellness. And to help us get started today, we have a thought leader, corporate yoga and meditation coach, and founder of Ambitious Image, an executive personal branding company dedicated to wellness, impact, and influence. She hosts the podcast Leaders Riff with Jamie McLean, and her book collaboration, Your Daily Dose and RX52 Wellness Hacks, just launched last year. She discovered her holistic approach to image through a personal health journey that inspired her 3 guidelines for mindful living and leading. That is to show up, do what you can, and look for incremental improvements. So, here to help us center and focus, please welcome Jamie McLean.
Thank you so much, Olin. That was wonderful. I am so excited to be here with you all. This is such a privilege and such a unique moment in history of AICI. So I have a question for you. Who has meditated before? Who has a meditation practice? If you just chat in, if you have a meditation practice. Oh, and yes, it's live and I'm having my technical. One sec. Okay, daily, we have daily. So now I can see the chat. Oh, we have quite a few with a meditation practice. Excellent, excellent. What kind of practices do you do? What are your practices? Just chat that in. Love it. Esther says she loves it. Olivia has a practice. Wonderful. Guided with Gabby Bernstein. So this is a great moment to share resources. So go ahead and keep chatting that in morning rituals, post yoga, says Catherine Lazarek. Wonderful. So my next question is, who has a gratitude practice? Oh, insight timer is great. Who has a gratitude practice? And while you chat that in, I'm going to try and get this going again.
So maybe I can help you read the chat, and people are saying that yes, I do every day. So people are saying I do with the book too. So people pretty much are very thankful for life, and I think that's most important, especially this COVID.
That's wonderful, wonderful to hear. So today we are going to focus on gratitude, because gratitude is one of the best things you can do for your overall well-being. Not only to manifest what we want in the world, which I think we've all seen, because as I follow everybody on social media and talk to my colleagues, I see that the ones that have the most gratitude are also the most successful. Beyond that, here's a few other things that gratitude offers. So if you have a team, everybody has a team, if you have a family as well, or if you're a solo entrepreneur, though, this is the work-life impact of gratitude on well-being. So just some highlights, and then chat in if you have other ones that you've noticed, other benefits of the gratitude practice that you have. So improved sleep, more sleep, better sleep, more exercise. Grateful people exercise more. Stronger relationships, feeling less lonely, happier working, really being more attached to your work, happier with the work you do, and increase self-esteem. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a gratitude meditation and get some of those good feelings of well-being in our systems for this panel today. So as I set up here, maybe just get comfortable with your feet flat on the floor somehow. Maybe you're raised up on your chair right now. So you could just take that chair down if you need, whatever's going to make yourself comfortable. And David, you'll let me know if this is a little bit choppy due to the internet. You never know out there how that comes across. All right, so here we are. We're sitting comfortable in our seats, spine straight, sitting up tall. And let's take 3 deep breaths. Let's take our hands to heart center. So we just got our thumb mounds on our heart center, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale and a sigh. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, big inhalation. Exhale and a sigh. Last one, biggest inhale you can take, filling the lungs up with air. And exhale, big sigh. Wonderful. Relaxing the jaw now, we can put our hands in our laps, wherever's comfortable for you, and relax the jaw. Relax the forehead. Relax the eyes and the eye sockets. Coming back to normal breathing. And think of something or someone you're grateful for. Now thinking of someone else or something else you're grateful for. And now another someone or something you're grateful for. Really visualizing the person or thing now. What do they look like? How does it sound or feel? Wonderful. Now really sensing all that gratitude in your entire body. And take all that gratitude and send it out to our panelists today, to our guests, and to the world. And now, whenever you're ready, take another nice deep breath. Become fully aware of the moment. Open your eyes and continue your day with gratitude. How was that for everybody? Chat that in.
That was amazing. Thank you for that, Jamie.
You're welcome. And let's chat in something we're grateful for to share that with everybody. And I'd love to take a picture and pass on, encouraging other people to meditate. Let's take a group picture. Let's take our hands to heart center. And David, I think you're taking a picture right now.
I'll put my,
I love it. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Have a great, I can't wait to hear you all.
Thank
the
you,
panelists.
Jamie. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. I'm just so relaxed. I'm just about ready
Yes,
to go.
me too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. All right. So now let's celebrate by listening to our wonderful panel. And of course, to introduce them, we have our chair of DEI. Give a big hand to David McKnight. All yours, David.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I am so excited that this day has finally arrived. You just don't know what's been going on behind the scenes for us to really prepare for this moment. And so I'm grateful. Olin, let me just start by thanking you for that wonderful introduction and those opening remarks that were amazing, and also for that very brief yet excellent overview in terms of the origins of Black History Month. Lillian, let me also say thank you for those kind words that you shared with us, as
You
well as
deserve it. You deserve them. Yes, you deserve them. Very good
thank you.
committee.
The team really has been working hard. I also want to recognize you for your leadership and for leading us into this next chapter of AICI. We're 30 years old now, and we've updated the mission, the vision, the values to really reflect where we currently are. So thank you for paving the way and for leading us. As someone who originally joined the organization in 2007, which was 15 years ago, I can't believe how fast time has flown. It feels personally rewarding to play a very small role in the evolution of the organization, which is really why we're here today. And then finally, Jamie, thank you for really setting the tone for us today, for talking about the importance of meditation and gratitude, and for getting us centered to have today's conversation. I just want to share just a brief overview about my thoughts being the first DEI chair, as well as highlighting a few accomplishments and giving you some insights into our plans and our thinking for the year to come and for the rest of our term. I'm really honored to be the inaugural DEI chair for the organization. And I want you to know that there is no template for this role. There is no predecessor. And so I'm grateful to the DEI committee for really helping to shape and influence what this first year looks like. There's a lot of work to do and so many ways to affect change through what I call micro moments that matter. And that's really what we want to do. We want to create micro moments that matter because ultimately those micro moments, when aggregated, they will ultimately shift the culture of a community over time. As I recently said in a social media post, it's my mission to highlight and celebrate image consultants of all backgrounds, of all abilities, as well as to educate our global community about the beauty of our differences and to cultivate an even more inclusive culture where everyone feels acknowledged. I think that the updated mission, vision, and values really speaks to this. And so it's up to us to make sure that we are embodying those words that are written on the paper. How are we going to do this? Well, quite simply, it's really a three-pronged approach. Number one, through awareness campaigns, leveraging social media to use those updates as, again, micro moments that matter to educate through social media. Number two, education opportunities. And I want us to realize that education opportunities look very different. There's no one size fits all in terms of education. It might be a CEU course. It might be a teleclass. It might be a conversation on IG, but we want to create many education opportunities for everyone to consume information. And then finally, the exposure to tools and resources. This will allow you to take the information to use it for your own business or to help your corporate clients or even your private clients. Now, let me just give you a glimpse of some of the highlights, or excuse me, some of the accomplishments that we were able to achieve in such a short period of time. Number one, several months ago, we submitted a request to the executive board to update the gender status options on AICI applications because the status options were very limited, male and female. And so now there is another option or other options that people can choose from so that everyone feels included. In November of 2021, during the first joint event between the Angel Fund, the Sustainability Committee, and the DEI Committee, we highlighted the first albino image consultant on a panel. Her name is Veronica Portella. And we had the opportunity to learn just a little bit about her condition. And also, despite having visibility or vision of only 20%, she's still able to inspire so many people through her work. And my favorite, through her Instagram reels, which are very, very entertaining. In conjunction with Black History Month, we hosted the very first DEI-centered conversation on IG, featuring none other than my friend Nana Badu, as well as Nahima Washington. Both are on the board of the New York Tri-State chapter. It was an engaging, informative, and entertaining conversation at times between two Black women who were talking about the importance of visibility, representation, wellness, business. We want to continue these types of conversations with many other communities. And then finally, thanks to Ann Steels, the editor of the AICI magazine, we're going to be writing an article for the next issue about this event. So again, I really want to communicate and emphasize the importance of creating these micro moments that matter. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. And it's not as if we can wave a magic wand and say, you are now transformed, you are now inclusive. But we have to really find these moments, these opportunities to create, to allow other members who may not be seen or as visible to have moments to shine. And so quite simply, that's really what we want to do as a committee. In terms of what's to come, we're thinking about Pride Month. We want to do more IGs or IG Lives. We want to host workshops, create a toolkit. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully it gives you some insight into where we're going and what small things we were able to achieve so far. So thank you all. Thank you panelists for being here. Thank you, Lillian, Olin, everyone for your support so far. Now, let's switch topics and talk about the powerful, dynamic women that we are going to be hearing from today. Again, I am so very excited to be having this conversation, and it really brings me joy to know that they have each said yes. They could have said no. They could have said, David, I'm too busy. No, I don't have time. Ping me next year. But they all said yes. And so I want to thank them for taking the time out of their schedules to have this conversation, which I believe is going to be powerful. So without further ado, I want to switch the conversation over to these beautiful women, and I'd like for them to each introduce themselves. Yeah, sure, I could read their bio, but there's nothing like, I believe, the dynamism that they can bring to their own story and putting it into their own words. So with that said, Latrice, I would love to start with you. Welcome to the stage, Latrice.
Thank you so much, David. This has been amazing so far. I'm so excited and grateful for the opportunity. Hello to my AICI fellow image consultants. I'm Latrice Cole, and I am a member of New York Tri-State chapter. Whoop, whoop. I also sit on the board of that chapter as well. So I started my image journey in 2018, so about 4 years ago. And I went full time to do this, completely taking a big leap of faith in 2019. And so I help ambitious and successful entrepreneurs and women leaders create an impactful wardrobe and signature style that not only aligns with their essence, but also their brand, so they can continue to increase their influence, impact, and opportunities. Prior to me starting my image journey, I was an HR leader for about 10 years. And that really gave me the insight and the aha moment to think about what fashion and style can do on a much deeper level, because it's always been with me. But it wasn't until my HR experience allowed me to see how could it be more strategic. Because for me, in that experience, I got to see a lot of talented professionals, especially women, who had these awesome resumes and great knowledge, skills, and abilities, but they lacked the visual representation as well as the presence to get those opportunities. So I took my innate love of fashion and style and that experience in HR to now use style strategies and image strategies to help my clients always make sure that they are authentically showing that visual representation, presence, and their brand. So thanks again so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Latrice, for that great introduction. And again, for saying yes to this conversation. Next, we're going to turn to Nadia. Nadia, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to take also a small break to say, Hola, Latinoamérica. I'm super glad to be part of this committee, part of this panel, and well, be a little bit of a reference for Latin America, and not only Latin America, my country, Ecuador, and of course the Afro-Latino community. This is why I'm here, because I feel that we must be represented, especially since there has been so much attention towards not only content creators, models, and all of these wonderful people that bring style and fashion into the image industry that are from Latin America. I also believe that there are so many things that we should talk about towards that relationship, that sort of bittersweet relationship. Well, we'll get there. Now, I want to talk to you about a little bit more about myself. I've been an AICI member for about 5 years. Whoa, yeah. Okay, so I've been an AICI member for that amount of time. I am a personal shopper and also an image consultant. I am on my way to becoming an image coach as well. And my interest has always been the underdog. So I also focus a lot on curvy women. And I want, to always bring the best out of these women, because yes, we've been looked down for so long, and I'm glad that all of the work not only I as an image consultant am doing, but also the other people that bring this issue to the table in the industry are contributing to us as image consultant and us as an industry to grow more into what the customer wants and less of what the industry commands. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Oh, and I'm also a college professor. That I think right now it's like a little bit less important, but well, that's what I do. And thank you so much for having me here.
Wow, Nadia, thank you so much for that. And Nadia, I just want to say thank you for all of your contributions to the committee, and most importantly, for your excitement and for your engagement and for your willingness to always say yes. And so I really do appreciate that. And I just learned something new about you. I had no idea that you're a college professor. So we're going to have to talk about that offline. Thank you so much. And we're going to turn to none other than the beautiful Ann Stills.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Hello, panel, Oline and Lilian Bustamante. Welcome to everyone out there that is on our call today. Thank you so much for your time. We're really happy that you are spending this time with us. We know that you could be doing something else because we are all so very busy, but we appreciate that you're here with us celebrating our inaugural Black History Month event. We're very pleased about that. A little bit about myself. I have enjoyed a successful 30 something years um, corporate America background in financial services, in the airlines, in the hotel industry, in international chauffeur transportation, all in leadership positions. And I was trying to think about my next act. And I wanted to combine all of the things that I loved and all of the things that I knew. And I said, okay, I love fashion. I have been in corporate America, so I know that space very, very well. When I started, honestly, I was most of the times the only Black person in the room. Even when I started with the airline, in the airline industry as a flight attendant, I was the only Black person in my class. So I've been in those spaces as the only. And I just feel like I'm a pioneer and someone that have experienced so much and can bring so much to the table, with my clients. Anyway, I decided that I wanted to combine all of the things I love, like I said. And so I found the image consulting industry, or maybe it found me. Once I did find it, I immediately joined the AICI, and concurrently, I took the image consulting certificate program at FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology here in New York. While I was doing all of those things, I joined the local chapter, and they pulled me in because that's what they do. They want new members to get involved. And immediately I was on the board as first as a secretary, and then over maybe 6 or 7 months later, and I didn't raise my hand. They asked me to be the president of the New York Tri-State chapter. And I did, I agreed, and it was a wonderful, wonderful, rewarding experience. The board, the members, the things that we accomplished. And I felt, again, one of the things that, all chapters, presidents, and boards, they want to get the members involved and engaged, because this is how you have a very rich experience, events, everything. So that's what I did. Again, the progressive person that I am, I became the editor-in-chief of the AICI Global magazine. Again, I did not raise my hand, and I didn't want to do it at the time because my business was very, very busy. But it was also during COVID, and I thought that my background, what I thought, what I could bring would be of value to our members. So I did accept the position. 6 issues later, I'm still here as the editor-in-chief, and really, really proud about what we accomplished, what our editorial team accomplished. My firm, it's called Smashing Daily, and that's another story. But my focus are on corporate clients. I work with universities and executive women. And I'm very happy to be here and very happy to be a part of this event today.
Excellent. And thank you so much for that wonderful, comprehensive introduction and giving us some insight into the evolution of your journey. I also want to just acknowledge you for really reaching out to me and bringing me back to AICI. It is because of you that I am here today. And so I want to thank you for reaching out, because I did step away. And so now that we are evolving as an organization and that we're making sure that there is representation and inclusivity across the organization, more people like you and like me will be able to make sure that we're seen and we're heard. And so I just wanted to acknowledge you for that. Thank you. And next, we're going to, I want to speed this up so that we can get into the questions. Julie Brandon would love for you to give a brief introduction, and you'll be able to share much more once we get into the questions.
I am Julie Brandon, and I have been in the industry with the beauty and hospitality industry for over 30 years, just thinking about that. I started with AICI in 2006, but I went to London Image Institute in 2005, but I started my company in 2004. So I'm just thinking back, I'm like, okay, I've been doing this a while. Before I went to London Image Institute, I just felt that, oh, I'm gonna be an image consultant. I'm gonna do everybody's hair and put their makeup on. And when I got there, Sonia was my instructor. It was much, much more. So I got heavy into it. Everybody loves fashion. I love image, etiquette, and protocol because I tell people all the time, I could put lipstick on a pig and it's still gonna earn.
Mm.
So thank you for having me. I know we're at a time constraint, so we're gonna wrap up, but thank you for having me and I'm glad to participate with you guys.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate you saying yes. I know that you have some things going on. And so I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to
You're welcome.
be here with us. I love your energy and your passion and your excitement. And I think that just having you on the panel just brings an extra layer of dynamism. And so thank you. And then last but certainly not least, someone who I have looked up to in the industry since literally day one, the first time I attended conference. And so Sonia, I would love for you to take a moment to introduce yourself.
Yes, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, David, AICI, Olin, and Lillian, and the esteemed panel that we have here this morning. So I am an old-time AICI member. I was active with the organization for about 8 or 9 years, and I've been on hiatus, but will be actively re-engaging thanks to Julie, David, and Olin and the panel here. So I'm very excited. I have been in the industry for 20 years this year. Like this is my 20-year anniversary. And I think back to my first class with Dominique Isbeck in New York. And just, it doesn't seem like it's been 20 years ago. So over the years, I've done both corporate consulting, image consulting. I've done executive presence training. And then also I started a style academy that I held for 4 years. And I've transitioned since I'm now of a more golden, beautiful age, plus, that I do life and style coaching for women over 50. So very excited to be a part of this. And I'm so thrilled to see not only the industry evolve over the years, but now AICI is coming full circle. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much, Sonia. I think that you bring insight into the history and you truly have witnessed the evolution. And I'm most excited about you getting re-engaged and rolling up your sleeves to help with a lot of the work that needs to be done. And so I can't wait to get you on board. All right, so thank you panelists for those wonderful introductions. We're going to get into the first question, but before we do, I have a quick, I want to interrupt this program with a very quick commercial break. I would like to thank our 2 sponsors for this event and for several of our events this year. And those 2 sponsors are Elise Parsons Universal Style International. I was exposed to Elise's style program when I first started image consulting or being exposed to image consulting at FIT over 15 years ago. And I love that program. It's still very relevant. I still use it with my clients and it's a wonderful program. So thank you to the team at Elise Parsons Universal Style International. And second, I'm also another customer or patron of this particular organization or company. It's Hue and Stripe. I believe I saw Craig's name pop up in the chat. Craig Nordstrom, who is the founder or co-founder. I want to thank you for all that you do, for your support, for your dedication to the industry, but even more importantly, to your dedication and commitment to AICI. So we see you, we appreciate you. So many of us on this panel are, and in the audience are customers, and we really believe in you, and you are such a great leader. So thank you so much for your contributions and your support. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled program. So my first question is, this is the first time that AICI has hosted a Black History Month event. What does this mean to you that we're having an event of this nature? And Sonia, let's start with you.
Okay, so thank you. I was hoping you'd start with me. So for me, it means that we're being seen, kind of like the world right now is over the last 3 years, that we're opening our eyes to realizing that the world is flat. And so we come in all, shades of color, ethnicities, but for AICI to make this acknowledgement, it's a step forward to say, we're in progress, like we're still forward thinking and we're listening and we're also seeing what's made up of the organization. So it's huge.
Awesome, very succinct and well put. And what are your thoughts on this question? What does it mean to you that we are celebrating Black History Month as a part of AICI members?
What it means to me, David, and all, that Black history matters, that Black history is a part of American history, that it is something that the world, for various reasons, are recognizing the value, the rich cultural accomplishments and history that we have brought to this country and other countries as well. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is a major, major initiative of most Fortune 500 companies and everybody, period. And so to have our organization be in this conversation and taking a leading role in it to bring awareness to our community, to our image consultants, to our clients, that's huge. I mean, this is the future. And this conversation, it involves our clients. We need to be able to lead our clients in this conversation. And so representing this particular topic, diversity, equity, and inclusion, particularly around Black History Month, it is invaluable, it is important, it is relevant, and I am honored and privileged to be a part of this conversation and this inaugural event.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anne, for those wonderful words. Julie, I'm going to turn to you. I would love to get your perspective on the meaning of this event and this month and what we're doing.
I'm actually just loving it. I'm embracing it, and I'm watching AIC evolve. That's what I'm loving about it. It's building awareness. It's for us as a first time to host Black History Month in AICI. It's exciting. It's showing that we are aware, we're moving forward, and we're bringing everybody along. I think in the commercials, you see the evolution of the commercials. We see a lot of minorities, even with the brands, the luxury brands, we see a lot of minorities. So I think that with AIC stepping forward, hopefully we'll have a lot of organizations jump on board with us to host their own. But I'm loving the fact that we're just the first to doing it. And I love that, David, you brought it in. So I'm just noticing how we are actually evolving as one unit, one association, and I'm just proud to be a part of it. We're being seen finally now.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Julie. Nadia, please share your thoughts. And if you have a perspective from a Latina standpoint, would love for you to share.
Absolutely. Yeah, this brings me happiness. As I still pinching myself a little bit because it's like a dream come true because mostly in Latin American countries, when you talk about blackness in Latin American countries, it's like an issue that hasn't been as discussed as a group. Maybe it's just um, I don't know if I'm being too how can I say this? If I am being too brutally honest about about this whole thing,
It's a safe.
but it feels like when it comes to image and when it comes to fashion, they take a lot of what we can bring to the table as an accessory and not as what we represent, what we are as people. So having this space for expressing what's the deal with being black, and not only what being black means, but also what being an Afro Latina means, and that people in the industry listens is major. So I'm super glad.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And I don't think that you can ever be too brutally honest if you're being authentic, because sometimes we have to have difficult conversations, but I really prefer to say courageous conversations, because moving forward requires us to have these conversations. And hopefully it's really starting to be very clear and evident to the audience what this really means to us. Everyone just talked about how much of an impact this is on us, because we feel seen and we feel heard. And when I spoke on the global panel, or the panel at the global conference, I talked about how for years I felt invisible. And so I said to myself, well, David, what can you do to make a change? And so here we are today. So thank you. Thank you. And Latrice, we're going to end with you. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, to everyone has put it so succinctly, but progression and acknowledgement and achievements and timely, I would say, just because even outside of our AICI, if you look at fashion and style and the luminaries that are trailblazing and rising to higher ranks at companies, becoming more creative directors and having more esteemed positions to really take, as Nadia said, our culture and our creativity and be able to use it to get that esteem. It's just, as everyone said, it's an acknowledgement to say we are here and that we see you, you know? So it's wonderful to be seen and feel seen. So
Excellent. And yes, we do see you. We see each and every one of you. Um, Panelists, I'm looking at the time and I want to make sure that we cover a couple of questions that are, I think, very important to cover. So I'm going to move to question number 3. As you think about the role of Black professionals and the role that Black professionals have played in the field of image and style, both within our organization as well as without, who are some of the luminaries that stand out for you? And why should image consultants around the world be aware of them? What impact have they made that we need to acknowledge and recognize, as well as celebrate? Latrice, let's start with you this time.
okay, so for me, fashion and style has always been this dance in my life. But so starting with my mom and my grandmother, but I think when I was really starting to kind of see what I wanted to do or see possibly if fashion was even a possibility one luminary that always stood out to me in those early days was June Ambrose. And if you're not familiar with June Ambrose, she is an American fashion costume designer, stylist. And what I loved about her is that she was my beacon of inspiration when I was in college and trying to figure that out, because the style and fashion industry as a whole, sometimes we weren't always accepted, or it's hard to get our foot in the door. So for me, she was this woman who started doing styling and becoming an image professional, I think in her early 30s. She left her corporate career and decided, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be crazy. And this 30-year-old is going to do this. And she has then set, or I should say, blaze the trail for so many other stylists of color and just stylists, period. So she really was that inspiration to say, wow, this can be done. A person of color can reach the top levels of an industry that has been predominantly not as embraceful of people of color. So June Ambrose for me in the early days.
Great. Yeah, June is excellent. I love the work that she does. Thank you for sharing that. Nadia, who are some of the luminaries that we should be aware of, people that have inspired you? Would you like to share?
Well, when I was, I had like the same path Latrice followed. I was looking for a place in the fashion industry because I didn't know what could be done. And when I saw Leah Samantha, she's a Colombian fashion designer, I was blown away because she doesn't want to fit in. And I loved it. She doesn't want to fit in. She's very very Afro-Latina. She incorporates all that in her masterpieces. And well, they have very beautiful, very beautiful. It's a beautiful statement that she does with the whole with her garments. And I also look up to Carol Barreto. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that well because she's a Brazilian. She, on the other hand, she's very not classic. I don't want to say she's classic because she's not, but she makes a statement in a very different way. She's less into color than Leah Samantha, but she absolutely gives out message with her clothing. And I thought, well, if these two women are making a statement using their platform and using what they learned in fashion school, and if they could, walk the way, I kind of I can do the same. And well, I am not a fashion designer. I did go to fashion school, but I didn't take to that. So I became an image consultant because I thought that in this area I could do a lot more and enhance this wonderful and creative designers like her.
I would love for you to type the name of those two designers in the chat box, just for anyone who might be interested in checking out their story or their styles or what have you. But thank you for sharing that. Excuse me, Sonia, let's turn to you. Who are some of the luminaries that you look up to, who have made an impact on your career? Who should we be aware of that's on your radar?
Well, I'm going to take it back since growing up back in the 70s. I would first go to like Screen Sirens. I was a diehard fan of Diane Carroll and Lena Horne, because they were the epitome of what classic elegance was. And, back then in film and television, it was rarely seen where they weren't cleaning a house or the maid or the slave. And so just to see them shine on big screen. So Diana, Lena, Diane Carroll. And then I remember in the late 70s, early 80s, when I would be looking through WW magazine, there was no one of color. So I go back to Beverly Johnson, who was the first Black model on the cover of Vogue. And then I have to give credence to Naomi Campbell. You know, to this day, at the age of my target market, over 50, she is still representing, has not forgotten where she's come from, and is blazing the trail for so many. So it's a
Mm,
combination.
yeah, those are great examples of luminaries who have really impacted, I think, so many of us on this panel. I mean, Diane Carroll, she was the epitome of style, and grace, and class. And my favorite role that she played was her role, I forget the name, but it was in Dynasty.
Dynasty, Dominique Devereaux.
Yes, yeah, amazing, amazing. So thank you for sharing that. You took me back for a second. And who are some of the luminaries that you look up to who've inspired you?
Well, there's only one person that I want to highlight, and I want everyone to know her name. And I'm certain that there's no one on this call, except for maybe Sonia, that is aware of her. And I want people to be aware of her because she has played such a role in the image consulting industry. She was a pioneer. She was the first Black leader. Her name is Jean Patton. Are you familiar with Jean Patton, Sonia?
Yes.
Okay. Jean Patton, she was a pioneer in the AICI world before we became one organization. She was on the merger committee when we were on the East Coast and we were on the West Coast. She was the first African-American leader in the association, AICI, before it became global, a global organization. Her core training was in color analysis, and she used the principles of color analysis created by the person that created the color analysis concept. I can't remember that person's name.
Carol Jackson. Carol
Pardon?
Jackson. Carol Jackson.
Okay, okay. She was trained by Robert Ponte, who was an image consultant out of California in the days when image consulting was really getting started as an industry and as a career. She was trained at the Kristen Valmet makeup cosmetic school. She was also trained with the Color Association of US. She was trained, and so her forte is certainly color analysis in clothes and makeup, particularly. In 1984, she had her own business. It was called Second Skin Color and Cosmetics, and another business, Color Education Resource. In 1987, she taught the first color analysis class at Parsons University, one of the top universities in the world in terms of fashion and particularly design. In 1991, she wrote a book, Color to Color, and it was published by the prestigious publisher Simon and Schuster. And she said she just had to write this book because there was nothing, there were no colors that were addressing people of color at all. There was nothing. So she wrote this book and she analyzed the color of people, not just Black people, but people of color, Indian, Latinos, everything. And there's more. She had leadership roles with the National Association before we became international. She was on the certification committee. She was on the nominating committee. She was on the ethics committee. She was an Eastern Region advisor. She was the VP of Education, and she won an Emmy, the Emmy Award in 1992. So I would really like to recognize, acknowledge her accomplishments in starting as a Black woman in the very beginning of this image consulting industry, and particular the strides that she made to move us forward as an association. Jean Patton.
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh. And you just gave me a mini lecture on this woman. And this is the reason that we are having these conversations. You just taught me something that I did not know. I mean, this woman has so many accolades. Why is she not taught in our curriculum? Why don't we talk about her more? Representation matters. And I'm actually getting chills right now.
Yes.
I mean, it's sad to think that I've been in this industry for 15 years and I'm just learning about her. So thank you so much for sharing. I really do appreciate that. And I know there was a request to type her name into the chat. I believe someone did, but Anne, if you could just retype her name in. I want to encourage everyone to go out, check out her books. Hopefully they're still on Amazon.
Yes,
And
you can still find it. It's called Color to Color. And as I said, I mean, when she told me about the color analysis that they did, that she did back then, she said there were hundreds of colors that they had to decide and decipher on people of color to find the right color. You know, over 300 of each color. I mean, so what she did back then, I mean, it's just not done today. And she did it. And she did it in the very beginning. And so she is someone that I absolutely want to every image consultant to know who she is.
thank you.
I agree.
Gosh, wow. And it sounds like Sonia, you're familiar with her work. And so we need to make sure that her legacy continues. We can't let it die. We need to make sure that we somehow find ways to really share her story. Because again, maybe I'm the only one, but this is my first time hearing about her. So thank you.
Likewise, too.
I would love for you to share who is a luminary or luminaries that you admire that we should be aware of.
After Anne, I got nothing.
I know. Right?
I thought long and hard about this, and I'm just saying who inspired me. I am not telling my age, but I have older sisters, and I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, but I came to my own in the 80s. I looked up to Diana Ross. Through my sister, to see her step out, that hair, the clothing, Diana Ross, come on. For my 50th birthday celebration, I did an icon shoot and I did Dorothy Dandridge.
Mhm.
And I can't think of no other lady's name. I had it, but forgot. Banana skirt.
Josephine Baker.
I did Josephine Baker.
Yes.
So
Love
for
her.
my 50th, I want to embody the women that came before me. But then I started thinking more with your question. In the 80s, I was first, my beauty salon, 19 years old, I was in my salon, and I've always stood out. Remember the punk rock hairstyles and the purple hair. I did all that. I came into my own. I was the trendsetter. My brothers were. We were trendsetters. We didn't follow anyone's lead, but I remember to be authentic. We did our thing. So in that time zone, who did I look up to? And I knew y'all gonna shoot me in the head. But guess what? Style, hair, makeup, shoes, Prince.
Of course.
Love Prince. Big fan.
He broke the mold.
Fan.
So
Big
true
fan.
to form, Julie Brandon, Prince.
Prince.
That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank
Julie,
you.
have you ever seen him? I'm sure you've seen him live in concert. I saw him twice and it was like such, it was such a performance. He is amazing.
One of the concerts I was looking for him in the 80s, and we were looking for him, and he was standing behind me and didn't say a word. But last year for my birthday, I went to Paisley Park and I did the VIP tour, and I was in Minneapolis for 4 days and just took it all in. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, he was definitely a trailblazer and his music still lives on. And so thank you for that. I actually would like to chime in and answer this question because for me, this question meant a lot because I want to be completely vulnerable and transparent right now with you. So growing up in a family that was very religious, having a father as a minister, I was really finding my way and finding out who David really was. And so I was always very, very, very buttoned up, and I wore my clothes as this mask because I didn't want people to know that I was gay. And so it was hard for me when I was younger. And again, I used my clothing as a uniform. Everything was plain, everything was really like no frills because I didn't want to give anything away. And once I decided that I wanted to enter the image and the style industry, the people that I saw on TV were almost like caricatures. And I was like, that's not me. I don't see anyone that's like me. Can I still be me and not doing certain gestures and things of that nature, but still work in style? And so I didn't want to fit into the stereotypes. And so I finally found someone that I was like, wow, I want to model my career. I want to model my brand, my image after this individual. And he's someone who looked like me. And his name is Lloyd Boston. And so I don't know if you all know Lloyd Boston. I love his style, the way he carries himself, his I mean, he has been my role model. I mean, I have many, but that's the one that I want to share and give you some insight into someone who really I looked up to and to help me figure out how can I fit into this industry and make a place for myself. So thank you everyone for those. I want to actually transition to talking about wellness. Again, I mean, we narrowed the questions down from like 10 to 6, and we still aren't able to get through all of them because there's so much here, so much to unpack. But I want to transition to talking about wellness because, as we know, wellness is the theme of Black History Month this year. And we also want to again acknowledge Jamie for kicking us off with that beautiful meditation that really centered on the importance of wellness and gratitude. So, with that said, here's the question. We all know that being an image consultant isn't just about style and fashion. It's holistically about the ABCs, which we're all familiar with. However, I feel that we need to now start thinking about how do we include wellness into the discussion? So maybe it's ABCW. What role does wellness play in the work that you do as an image consultant? And if it's not something that is really integrated into your practice, that's okay. Talk about the role that wellness can play or will play or has played in your business. Okay, let's see who we will start with. Sonia. So these are going to be more rapid fire questions. So Sonia, would you kick us off?
Yeah, so I'm really excited that wellness is the theme for Black History Month. And for me, I approach image consulting with a private client or even in a group is to a bird's eye perspective, but to look at it is from the intrinsic, from the inside out. And I know a lot of you all may say the same, but you think about a beautiful person or a celebrity and they look amazing, but on the inside they're struggling. We recently had the public death of Miss USA Chesley Chris, who I knew personally very well since she was a little girl. And just to see that she was stunning, like she had a stylist, she had a PR person, but it's the mental health. So it's shifting the mindset and make sure that you're whole on the inside and then letting that show on the outside. So I do a lot of coaching, a lot of meditation, and classes with my group of clients, and it's you're only as good as your mental health. So thanks.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, as I think Julie mentioned earlier, I mean, it's not just about putting lipstick on someone to make them look good, but we need to start from the inside. And for those of you image consultants who really focus on the fashion and the outside, that's great. But think about how can you maybe incorporate mindfulness or thinking about mindset or wellness, because Sonia, you're right. The two have to go hand in hand. And so I think this is one of the areas that we as image consultants need to start thinking about. How do we really start addressing the inside? Um, Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what are your thoughts on wellness and the role that it plays within your business or maybe in the future?
Well, David, as you said, we may or may not have a wellness practice in our business, and I don't have a formal wellness practice. However, what Sonia said, I mean, it resonated with me. I mean, we work with the work that we do with our clients, it starts inside. So it's inside out. What we see is visual. We see we see the way they look. We see the way they start behaving that's more impactful. We see that their soft skills, their communication skills, their interpersonal interpersonal skills, they are elevated. But it starts inside because that person, they have to have confidence. And a lot of times, I know with me, that is one of the things that I'm doing. I'm helping to build the confidence of my clients. So, in a small way, I play that role on wellness. One thing that I would like to say, since we are celebrating and honoring Black History Month, and the theme is Black health and wellness, I would like to acknowledge and praise and celebrate a scientist, an African American woman, Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett. She led the team that discovered the Moderna vaccine. So, I mean, I really want people to know who she is and, celebrate and acknowledge, because that's what we're doing. We're celebrating, acknowledging the value and accomplishments of African Americans. And I want to make people aware of who she is. Since we're talking about wellness, and COVID has taken hold of all of our lives for 2 years, and still continues to do that. And this woman, this scientist who was dedicated and has been dedicated in this field for over 13 years, she found a vaccine. So that is huge. And I'm just so happy to say her name to our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you can type her name into the chat, that would be wonderful. This is almost like a mini masterclass around people, Black people that everyone should be aware of, both within the image industry, fashion, but now also wellness. So thank you for that. Julie, from a wellness standpoint, what are some things that you might be doing in your business? I think you're on mute, Julie.
Well, my personal image has changed. So before glitz and glamour, now it's more internal. I work out basically 5 days a week. My health has changed. My eating habits have changed. I convey that message to my clients. So 2 years ago, I went on this health kick. I don't eat preservatives and all that stuff processed food. I don't eat it, and I've seen how it helped me. I actually sell sea moss, which I know a lot of people don't know about sea moss. It gets rid of the mucus in your body. What's the mucus doing? Mucus forms the disease. Not getting too much into it, you alkaline your body. So this is the message I've been conveying to my clients. Also working out, healthy eating habits, just getting rid of the junk, and then a mental state. I can't help you if I don't go inside and find out what's actually going on, which I'm not a doctor or a therapist, but I could sit there and I can listen. Most of the time, people just want you to listen, right? They just want you to listen. They got to have their voice. But then I take them into meditation. I send all my clients that buy an app, which is meditation with the word. I also send them a 60-day membership to Peloton. because Peloton has helped me. Look at my guns, baby. Yes, I
All
do.
right. You look
I,
amazing, Julie. Amazing.
She has me
but I
addicted.
started Peloton 2 years ago, and believe it or not, when I started Peloton, I know y'all gonna kill me again. The day I started Peloton, we were on the beginning, I think, of the shutdown, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm like, I have nothing to do. The gym is shut down. So I went straight to Peloton. Of course, they had a Prince series and I hopped on, right? And like, take my money. But through the course of it, Peloton actually has meditation, yoga, bar, sleep meditation, gratitude meditation. Everything is there. So that's why if I can teach them, I can send them to Peloton. So my image has changed. Getting with my clients, everyone's going through the same thing. So I know inside, everyone has a mental strain. If they're like me, that shut down, I'm an E personality. As you can see, I'm expressive. I'm not an introvert. I needed to talk. I need to see people. And I find that my clients were the same way. So thank you for having a health and wellness, because we all need it.
Wow, thank you. And Julie, you are definitely a walking billboard for your business, for health, for and wellness, and now even Peloton. And it's something that I've actually been thinking about getting a Peloton. So hearing from you and also Sonia, seeing your endorsement of it, I may actually kind of revisit that and bite the bullet. So thank you for that. Latrice, we'll hear from you on wellness and the role that it's played for you.
Oh man, this particular question has just been so inspirational, especially Julie kicking butt with them guns right there. Yes, honey. But no, it's for sure. It's for me when I work with my clients, as mentioned before, it is intrinsic thing, and I can't do my job if you're not mentally there, or if you're not really mentally able to open up and see yourself bigger and see yourself as you truly want to see yourself. So for me, I always talk about the first thing we do is work on the mindset and talk about some of the trauma and things that may have held you back from getting to the style vision or the image vision that they may have want to get. Obviously, I'm not a doctor either, so to Julie's point, sometimes it just wants you to listen and be empathetic and know that, to recognize that, listen, they've been through a lot and they're now trying to get on the right track, and they need a partner, a collaborative partner to help guide them or to let them know that it's possible. So we work on that and we talk about that. So when we start going into the other sessions, they have a good foundation to say, okay, I can really do this. So it is really starting with the mental. But for sure, Julie done gave me some inspiration. Sonia done gave me some inspiration on what to do even more as far as adding that health aspect. Certainly what Jamie does as well is very inspirational. So this has been mind opening, even for me, to creative ideas or other ideas to really embed that into my practice. So thank you, panelists.
Good. Thanks for mentioning that, Latrice. And we want this session to be not just celebrating, which of course that's a very, very important part of this, but also education and how image consultants can take this information and apply it to their business. And I think we've gotten several nuggets from people about different ways to incorporate wellness into their business, as well as learning about people that we might not have been aware of. So thank you. Mission is being accomplished. And Nadia, we are going to wrap up with you on this question. And Nadia, I know that I wanted to initially have you talk about colorism and the role that it has played in Latin America. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, but if there is something that you want to say about that, you can address that, or you can address wellness. But I wanted to at least create a space and let you know that I didn't forget. And so please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, actually, I was going to like make a fusion of those because
Perfect.
health mental health and colorism here in Latin America is kind of connected. So I deal a lot with rage, internalized rage in my in my consulting business. Not only because of the body positivity thing, but also because we as Latinos, we thrive. And we think that thriving is being hard on ourselves. And add colorism to that. So a person of color that comes to my consultant, my practice, it's kind of hard because yes, I can relate because I was there. And trying to make this person or this group of people aware of the fact that they are more than their aches, that they are more than whatever it is that society commands them to do, in not directly, right, like indirectly. It's a hard task. So I am not a psychologist. I'm working on being an image coach right now because of my demand, and also because I feel like it. I feel that it's my next path in life. But as I go, I always tell them to look for a person who has a lot more experience in this practice. I always encourage them to look for an Afro-Latino psychologist, because they can understand a lot better. Not because I want to, be racist or something. That it's something that you can understand as a person and as a professional. And I always incorporate questions that make them reflect on what their perception of themselves is. And once they kind of sink to it, and they think of the way that they have been treating themselves, it's kind of, like a breaking point. And there are some cases, I'm not gonna lie, there are some cases where I can't get through as much because, all the aches, all the pain, or anger. But most of those cases, they let go. And when a person of color lets go because of an advice or a few advices I have given them, I feel like my mission in life is being accomplished. So yeah, it's a hard task, and colorism is quite a complex issue that I am very, very up for talking in another session maybe, or if you want to talk to me directly, I will always be there with some insights. And thanks again for this opportunity.
Great. Well, we are really just scraping the tip of the iceberg. This is not the last conversation. It may be the first, but it certainly won't be the last. And so I want to thank all of you. Unfortunately, we are now out of time. And I just want to thank you all for saying yes, for sharing your story, for being honest, for being authentic. And thank you, audience, for listening, for being engaging. I was looking through some of the comments. Someone said, "Anne, you can teach a master class on gene patent." We should think about that. There have been
I thought about it. Yeah.
encouraging comments. And so thank you all for listening. Veronica, I see you. Nana, I see you. Marilyn, so many people. Esther, thank you all for coming. And let me just wrap up by saying thank you again, Olin. Thank you, Lillian, for really supporting us. Thank you, Shuba Joshi, who really was working behind the scenes to get the marketing materials created in a very short period of time. we put this event together very aggressively, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Next year, we will have a lot more time and make it even bigger and better. But as I was saying before we launched the call, I really want us to focus on progress over perfection. And so this represents progress. Jamie, thank you for your wellness meditation. Rachel Kowalski, thank you. Panelists, attendees, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time. This was a wonderful session. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep it going. In a couple months, we're going to turn to Asian Heritage Month, and we're going to celebrate some of the things in the Asian community. So thank you all for listening. And with that said, I will say goodbye exactly at 11:30 Eastern. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you again.
Bye. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.